Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of No Name Extras, where we are too impatient to get into the next podcast because we want to talk about something really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Jess, go ahead and tell them, first of all, your name, because don't let me introduce you. And second, also tell them what we're going to be talking about today.
Hello, I am Juan Guillermo, and this is the No Name Podcast.
We replaced Jess with like some Spaniard, I think.
Estoy muy importante. It's Jazz, and thanks for coming by and looking at this review of ours for DMC 5, aka my possible game of the year. Just letting that out now.
Didn't also freaking Resident Evil 2 come out this year?
Yeah, it did, but it had problems. Problems I will more than happy go into later down the line.
Fair enough.
But no. So, where do you want to start with this one?
All right, because let me look at my notes because I knew I was gonna forget. So, okay, I think because what I was thinking about doing is we should do like the bad stuff first, and then we should do like all the good stuff.
All right.
Since I feel like there's a good chance that like because we've talked about our reviews with each other, and it's just kind of like I'm pretty sure that like all the bad stuff is gonna be like so small that it's just kind of like why not just go into the good stuff later?
All right. You want to start off with them first?
All right. Well, to start off with, because the one I have here on my list is V. What's my opinion of him? He's good, but he could be better. I do like the mechanic that he has with like the companions, that he's more of like a ringleader and you have to like tell him what to do, all that stuff. I do like that they're bringing back all the Devil May Cry 1 bosses. Although
Spoilers.
I mean, if you're a Devil May Cry fan, you should know these guys.
Spoilers for non-Devil May Cry fans.
Spoilers for people who don't even play. It's like, what the fuck?
There were a lot of people, apparently.
I wouldn't be surprised. But what else? I mean, just the original. Yeah. Like, one of the things that I didn't really care for, though, is that, like, the way he controls, he's kind of slower in comparison to Dante and Nero. He's not bad by any means. It's just that it's like the way his flow is like it's vastly different to the point that it can actually like throw you off a little bit if you're going from like, oh, I'm using Nero and now I'm going to using V, and you're just kind of like, wow, this tempo change is a little on the absurd side. To the point where it's just kind of like getting used to it. It's kind of on the like I feel like it takes a little bit longer than it should. Again, this is just like a quibble, because after like you get some practice, you can actually figure out like, okay, this is like the timing and all this stuff, and this is what I'm able to do, and then like because one of the things that I will give him credit for right now is it's not the hardest thing to get like S ranking combos off with him. And another thing too is I like how out of like the three characters, I feel like if his Devil Trigger recharge mechanics are actually like faster in comparison than the other two.
Well, that's because I mean he kind of needs it for his real stuff.
He kind of does, yeah. Because like to bring in the like Nightmare, who it just does not resemble the original Nightmare at all.
Except for very slight things that you wouldn't really notice if you weren't really looking.
Yeah, well that's the thing, because like I was looking the other day, because like since they have like the model viewers, and I was looking at those plates, and I was just kind of like, even then they still don't like they've got some parts that I didn't recognize from like the original. I feel like that one, like the Nightmare, could have had like a bit of a redesign, so that it could at least like look closer. I mean, I like the character, like the addition to the character and all that stuff. Like you summon like a fucking drunk ass demon, and all his like crazy ass entrances. I love them all. It's just kind of like that's like one of those quibbles where it's just like for him, I'm kind of like, yeah, it doesn't really look like the boss that they're referencing.
Although I will fight against that slightly, saying that I actually like the design the way it is, because if it goes more resembling towards that, I mean, it's literally just a blob thing with plates, and that's kind of weird looking. And imagine that zooming around in the area.
Well, because I'm not like asking for like a direct translation like they did for like the shadow, but I'm just saying like maybe like make the plates pop out more, make them like so that it's like it looks a bit closer, like where like the orb is. Maybe he's got like the face plate, sort of like how the original boss had it. I'm not asking for like the actual version where like the blob comes out of the ground and is just like a giant gun. I'm just saying like make it a little bit closer to the original.
And even then, I feel like that would look a little goofy. It's just all this rock, and all of a sudden you just see this plate thing. Look at my head!
I would be like, I mean, given some of the other shit.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Although I will also fight back slightly on the whole, him being kind of jarring, which is kind of jarring for anybody like us. But I will say that it was actually, for me, refreshing in a way of having somebody like V around. Because after like 4 games, even Nero was more like Dante than you would think, except for the arm. But after like 4 games, it kind of runs together a little bit, especially after 3. So with him, it made it kind of new. And like anytime you got to that point, it was like, okay, I have to really learn something. I'm not rehashing something I've done before.
And I actually agree. Like, I can absolutely understand and even agree on some of those points. For me, it's just kind of like, I kind of wish just wasn't as slow as he is. That's part of like that's kind of like my biggest thing about it is just like, I do see where you're coming from. Because like, yeah, honestly, I've said this before, even on like the podcast channel, where it's just like what was it, Jen and I. I would just keep saying like yeah, I like 3 better than 4. It was like fucking like no contest. But for like the stuff that they did with V, I'm just kind of like I absolutely feel like that was all necessary. Like I absolutely agree. I'm just saying that it's just kind of like the responsiveness could be tightened up a little bit so that he moves a little bit faster. I'm not saying like make him on the same speed as Nero and Dante, but something so that it's just like when I feel like when I'm trying to do some combos, the response isn't so bad that like I can like drop them regardless of what I'm pressing. You know what I mean?
This makes sense.
Yeah, but that's like.
Now I will say another pet peeve I kind of had going off of that meter thing. Was when you use the book, which was a nice little thing to make it go really fast. It kind of got annoying in a way when you try to do certain moves with the monsters, because you'll be like trying to read and move at the same time, but you're also pressing the buttons in order for the monsters to do their moves, and then you end up doing back, and then they're right back to you, and it's just like, well, I don't want you to be over here, I want you to be over there.
Yeah, like sometimes it was hard like also juggling in the book to some extent. But like that's the book is not something I necessarily had a problem with. What I would always do is just kind of like I would just make sure like I would launch like all 3 of my minions at the same time, and then I just hang back and it's just like, okay, this looks safe, and then just like hold R2, he pulls out the book, just let go, and it's like, okay, and I'm just keeping the combos going.
Yeah, which is fine. I just every time I went for the book because I wanted to recharge to get Nightmare back.
Yeah.
Every time it was just like I would do it, and then I would kind of get bombarded by things, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just use these monsters to hit them, but then I'm using back a lot, so they're doing a lot of their back moves. So it's just like, well, I don't want that.
Right. I guess for me it's like I didn't have that problem as much because I would always be using side more. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because for me, like the problem, like my consistent problem was always I'm trying to do like I'm trying to like knock the use shadow to like uppercut the enemies into the air so that I can slice them. And then when after I do like the second hit, I would try to do that, but like the delay on it would be like kind of bad. So it's just like I would not do anything. I would do like the regular third hit. And then when I was trying to correct myself, then he'd start doing like the uppercut, but he wouldn't like drag himself into the air too. So I'm just kind of like, well, shit. Now I'm like, oh, my shit's all fucked up.
This makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like, do we think he's horrible? Fuck no, he's actually a pretty awesome addition.
I literally went with him for Bloody Palace up to like level 60. He was the first one I did it with.
Like earlier today, I got to like 56 when I died there.
No, I just quit at 60. I was like, all right, I gotta go to work. But there's one other pet peeve I had, and it was with certain moves that his monsters had. They require you to like hold the button down.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some of them took too long for them to do what they needed to do.
Right.
For example, one of the coolest moves I think in Shadow's arsenal is Hedgehog.
Right.
But it takes almost, I kid you not, like 6 seconds before that move actually comes out.
Right.
And that's like way too long.
I don't use it that often, so I'm not even sure if like he can actually be knocked out of it.
No, he can't. Especially if he's Hedgehog 2. Dude, that move is so good. But it takes so long to come out that you're already like dodging left and right so that he can actually use the damn move.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, yeah, that it doesn't help that like to get some of like V's good shit out, you have to sort of like contort yourself a little bit to make sure that you're hitting all the right buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I feel like I never have those problems with like Dante or Nero. It's just like I will say though, it's just kind of like for the way that V came out, it's just like could he have been a lot worse?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. He could have been a disaster. The fact that he's this good at launch, I'm just kind of like, good job, Itsuno.
No, like, yeah, keep in mind, this is me being super nitpicky. Like,
Oh, yeah.
overall, I love the character.
Like, wait till you get to like our scores, then you'll be like, oh my god, this is what they were having problems with, or like this is how good it is.
No.
I forget why I wrote like Counterpoint Ninja Gaiden 3 Vanilla.
That is very random.
Well, because I had something connected to it, but it's been a while since I wrote these notes, so I forgot.
I can't help you there.
No, yeah, I know you can't, because you were smart and didn't touch Vanilla Gaiden 3.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think is that all your quibbles on V?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had on V.
Same. All right. Do you want to point next, or should I go to my next point?
I'll let you do it.
All right.
Because my points are super minuscule.
This next one, as you say that, I feel like this next one's gonna be like, oh man, this is one of those that got to you. The character themes for me.
I can see
Not
that.
all of them, just some. Mainly Dante and V. They were like not. They were way not my favorites.
See, okay, so Dante, I'm completely with you on, 100%. V, right. I slightly have to fight you on, especially when you hear the lyrics. It makes sense.
I feel like that there is probably some like really good hidden stuff for V's like song, especially for his song. It's just that like it's just not my. I just don't really care for it. I'm not saying it's bad in comparison. Yeah, Subhuman is like fucking way garbage.
No, definite.
so it's just kind of like, yeah, it's obvious. Even with the little V version, I'd be like, yeah, but I still kind of have to like struggle to put up with it. For V, it's just kind of like when I heard it, it's like it's not bad. I just know I wouldn't listen to it. And when I was given the option to switch the songs, I went for I gave him like Nilo Angelo's theme. So because I was just kind of like, I also feel like this one fits the character too. So that's why I'm just kind of like, yeah, like the first chance I got, I switched them. I should really go back to listening to like V's theme song for the lyrics and all that stuff, just to see what they hid in there. But other than that, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's not my favorite.
Which is understandable. No, it's not like something I would just outright bump on my like YouTube playlist or something like that. But
yeah.
I definitely Subhuman. What were you thinking?
At least they remixed that version, so it's like, okay, it's slightly better.
Yeah. Of course, there was a whole debacle about that, but we won't get into that.
We do not. We want to keep this family friendly. Goddammit.
Exactly. But no, it's.
It's just.
Of course, we have Devil Trigger, which was the anthem of last year, basically.
I was gonna save that for the good points, so I'll just hold off on those.
Yeah, so we don't say much about that yet, but
yeah, we will later. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Overall, pretty much all the other music kind of was there and good.
Oh yeah, like for me, my favorite songs were always from that Lightning Sword night, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he had like some of the best tracks.
Mm-hmm. Which is fair enough. But is that it for that one?
That was my biggest one for in terms of the music.
Okay. So this one, I wonder if this one's going to be on yours. But there is something I kind of wish they did. Although in hindsight, when I think about it, it doesn't fully work in the overall narrative. But I still wanted it because it was already open to us in 4. And that was the fact that we didn't get to play Lady or Trish.
When you mentioned 4, I was just kind of like, I know what he's going for. It's like this. I can kind of see both sides of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would like since they have established like a specific way for Lady to play. I haven't tried out Trish yet on 4.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of like I know that because the characters are like are open to us, especially since because of 4, I can see why people would have like those gripes about like not being able to play them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also kind of like how you said, it's like in terms of like the narrative, is just like because that's also one of the things to keep in mind is they all basically get rescued on the same day. They're all freaking like weak as hell and out of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you could also do that. It's just kind of like in narrative wise, like they would be like super weak and exhausted because they've been like indisposed. I'll say until we get to our spoiler section.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were indisposed until like pretty much they were indisposed because of reasons. I'll put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just kind of like you could also argue that it's just like because of that they can't like they couldn't be able to help out.
Although this will be a spoiler section too. I do feel like there was at least one area that could have been used for them. Just one. I can't say where it is because it's a spoiler, but there was one area I was literally thinking to myself, you could have done it here, and it could have gone to an aspect of the game that actually, when you ever got it working in a certain mission, it was actually pretty cool. But that's
I
neither here
feel
nor
like
there.
I know which one you'd be saying. But, so it's just like okay, so
Yeah.
but like it's for me it was like it wasn't like super a big deal, but I can definitely see and understand.
Mm. Yeah. That's my little thing there.
All right. Let me see. This one's not a spoiler, but I can hold off on that because it's more like personal. This one's definitely a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
This one's not necessarily a spoiler, and that one's definitely like what the fuck. So like, do you have any more?
One I think is a spoiler, so I'm gonna save that one for later. I'm trying to think of there was something with Nero. I couldn't remember what it was, but it had to do with his breaker. I definitely didn't pull his devil trigger, guys. I feel like it had something to do with his devil breakers.
Well, I can throw in a nitpick for that one for Nero's Devil Breakers. I kind of wish you would be able to like rotate them to select them instead of like having to like keep like blowing them up.
That's exactly what it was. The fact you couldn't select which one, like you just kind of had to guess which one you needed at that time, because there were so many times you were fighting a certain enemy that a certain breaker would be really helpful for, but it's all the way in the back.
It's either like a certain enemy that you have like a really good breaker for, or it's just kind of like, or you might have meant this for like, because for the bosses too, there's also special like power-ups within the breakers that are perfect for some bosses, and so when they give them to you, like there's also like opportunities for like hidden interactions.
Exactly.
And so it's just kind of like, and like, it's like Jazz said, it's like it could be like, oh, this is the perfect time for me to use this like Devil Breaker A on boss A, but I've got like Devil Breaker D, and I fucking like A is all the way like in the back of my inventory.
Exactly, and it gets even worse when you have your inventory even bigger.
Oh yeah, seriously. It's basically like you just have to like put on that specific Devil Breaker for the entire level.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely a big pet peeve of mine.
I had that like a couple of times too, where I was just kind of like, damn it, I wish I could like because you do kind of like for some of the bosses like you do want to experiment, you do want to try some out, try some out to be able to see like okay, well what works here.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to it, you're just kind of like, well, I mean, I'm kind of just stuck with the one Devil Breaker just for this one interaction that I want to see. It's almost like not even worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like it's one of those like it's not worth it in the long run, but you absolutely like sort of like force yourself to go through with it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay, I'll throw out this one for the next point if you're done with yours.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay, because for this next one, for me, it's I do kind of wish that one thing that they had done in terms of like the gameplay is when because it's like I'm fine the way that the story plays out, like in your original run through of the game.
Mm-hmm.
What it's possible that I just haven't found this, and it is like a thing that's in the game. I'm not sure,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna sort of like go off of like my experience, which is I kind of wish that you could select characters like in levels where like in terms of like the canon story they were not available. So like in the first two missions, for example, or yeah, in the mission 2 and 3, I'll say
Mm-hmm.
what I mean. In mission 2 and 3, you can you only play as Nero, and I kind of wish you could go back levels but play as Dante or V.
So to point that out, I'm not sure if this is 100% fact, but they did data mine something to where that is a possible DLC in the future.
And if it is, I will absolutely be happy for that. But because like that's also like a thing where like I've seen like videos and stills and stuff of like characters being where they shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Which are probably
like
mods.
I mean, it's possible. I'm not entirely sure because I think one of those was like a commercial, and one of those was like Dante fighting the chicken boss.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or although I could be remembering wrong, but it's just kind of like that's one thing I kind of wish that the game would let you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was like the break. Now they did say it was possible it was going to come with this latest update, and I haven't checked since then. But they did data mine that part, and it did say something like those lines of play X character in this scenario, something like that.
Right. I mean, it might be possible, but I haven't seen it yet so far. But like
Mm.
you'll understand how much that means to me, like when we get to the score. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think the other thing I had was a spoiler, so I'm gonna leave that later.
Two of mine are no. Well, I'm gonna say 2.5 of mine are spoilers. So I'm gonna save those for later. So do you want to get to the good, or do you want to get to this? Well, yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to the good.
Okay. So everything else is amazing. There.
This game. Jeez.
Jesus Christ, man. I can't. Like, if someone was to ask me, so what's your favorite? Like, with the new lineup, what is your favorite Devil May Cry game so far? I'd be like, I don't know. I'm torn between 3 and 5.
Jeez. It's like every day something new pops up that just makes me love this game even more.
Seriously. Because, like, let me ask you this. Because I like someone on the internet posted like that whole strawberry sundaes thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when does that happen? Or is that just like a still or something?
It's a still.
Ah, okay. Because I was kind of hoping to see that like in the cinematic, but it's just kind of like even then there's still like so much stuff. Like fucking like the Cerberus fight. I was just kind of like, oh my god, man, this is just fucking nuts.
It's like, oh yeah. It's about to go down.
Like the Cerberus fight, freaking it's like a bunch of the shit that you see like during like the night, the stuff with Lady is oh my god, this game is like the best love letter to a franchise I've seen in years.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even from the fucking intro itself, like after the whole like flashback thing when they're in the truck, it's just like the slow motion part. And you know, I had to see that 3 times because there was a part I wasn't understanding, and when I finally saw what they were doing, I was like, "Oh, you motherfuckers!"
I almost feel like because like I don't know what you're talking about. I almost feel like when you tell me, 'cause this will probably be like in spoilers. When you tell me, I'm just gonna be like, "You motherfuckers!"
But oh my gosh, this game's like from beginning to end for me was just yes. Keep going, don't stop.
There were so many times where I was just kind of like, "Damn it! I wish this was a streaming day so that I could play it."
Even when it fucking ended, dude. Oh my god.
Oh my dude, that ending is just kind of like I have like I have my thoughts about it, but I'm just gonna be like, I loved it.
I had to clap, even though I was by myself. Just yes, yes.
It's like, oh, I'm sure the government saw it.
It's fine. You guys enjoyed it too. I know you did.
Thanks, assigned FBI man.
No problem. Let me guys be part of the game. It's like, no, my game.
Stay away, you son of a bitch.
I'm trying to think of anything else non-spoiler we can get into. Dante feels great.
Oh my god, dude! One of the things I love about like Dante in this game is that like the way that you can customize him. Because like one part of the reason why I didn't really care for like Devil May Cry 4 Dante is because like they throw you in with like all his armory, and so if you want to do some combos that you have in mind, sorry, excuse me, for any of the combos that you had in mind, you had to like go like rotate the entire thing, and I felt like that was a little bit on the clunky side. With the customization option that they have in Devil May Cry 5, I swear to God, it's just kind of like, you want to play Devil May Cry 3, Dante? Sure, go ahead. You want to play Devil May Cry 4, Dante? Here you go. I'm just kind of like, oh my god, I get 2 different game versions of the same character, and I'm fucking loving it.
But wait, there's more, because there's a 5th one!
Yeah!
Keep them coming!
And like, and also like for Nero, because I've seen people post on the internet like whenever like a Marvel's coming out, right? A lot of times I've seen people say, "Oh man, I hope that they put Nero in this game." And whenever I would think of Nero when it was just Devil May Cry 4, I'd be like, I don't know, man. I almost feel like he'd be just like another Dante. Like he wouldn't be as cool and all that stuff. With Devil May Cry 5 Nero, I'm just kind of like, oh my god, yes, please put him in. He's his own character now.
Which is very respectable. Although I would argue against that whole he'd be another Dante thing in an actual Marvel character game. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's like that. At this point in time, it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just, and like, I just, oh god.
Hell, I want V in a Marvel vs. Capcom game.
Dude, he would be super cool to see too.
Just do it, Capcom. Just put him in there.
Like, you could literally put all the Devil May Cry characters into the next Marvel, and they would all be unique and fucking awesome. Hell, you could fucking somehow find a way to put Nico in there, and I'd be down for it.
Just use the truck. That'd be awesome.
That'd be their fucking level 3.
Just runs you over. Pow!
But it's like it runs you over, and they recreate the intro credits.
So you end on the front windshield. She goes, yeah.
Well, like, pull my devil trigger.
That's it. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, and Nico, I have to say this up front for anybody who saw the reaction thing. I didn't love Nico when I first saw her.
Same.
Literally was like, I think this character's gonna be way too much. I want to say first or second mission, totally in love.
It's the second mission with the intro credits.
Okay, so maybe it's the second or third then. Either way.
Well, no. I'm mistaken. It's the intro credits happen in the first mission. The reason I said second mission is because there's also the prologue.
Yeah, which I forgot too.
Yeah, so it would be the first mission. Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, the second that happened, all of it was gone. It's like
go ahead.
It's like, yes, just give me Nico. Just keep coming.
I'm just kind of like, she fits in so goddamn well.
To the point, actually, that's another slight pet peeve I had. Just slight. but we'll get to that in the spoilers.
All right.
But yeah, Nico, just give me more Nico.
Oh, like I absolutely want her to be in 6. I'm just kind of like, oh, please, for the love of God, have her like be like someone that fucking constantly shows up at like the Devil May Cry offices. Like, oh my God,
Absolutely.
like her and Dante need to interact more.
Oh, absolutely. Them just interacting in general was amazing, including a certain scene. I won't say now, but holy crap.
Like, oh my, there's some amazing parts where it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's a spoiler. It's like, yeah, like the gameplay is amazing, the music is still freaking great, even with my quibbles. The graphics,
bosses were
dear
all
God,
fun.
that RE engine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like, because I remember that, like, you've sometimes mentioned that there's been glitches in the game and stuff. I swear, for me, it's always been a seamless fucking experience. Like, I've had no problems.
Well, see, like, literally, that one glitch I was telling you, like, after I said that, they fixed it. So it was like, whatever.
Wow. But, god damn, Capcom, you guys are killing it in this one. And, what else?
Bosses were all amazing. I don't think
Oh
I
my
hated
God,
any one
yeah.
of them. Literally, I don't think I hated a single one.
I will say, I do kind of feel like there might be, like, one or some, like a small handful out of all the bosses that, like, might be forgettable. But it's like, there's never been, like, a bad boss. There was no boss where I was just kind of like, this guy just flat out sucks.
Well, okay, that's another spoiler thing. I'll leave that there. I'll leave that there. But, yeah, literally love the bosses. Every
Oh
single
yeah,
one.
they were amazing.
Trying to think of anything else.
The zones, like the levels, they all look freaking great too.
Some better than others, although I do agree with slightly with the criticism that has been going around about the whole lots of gray and all this other kind of color stuff.
I can actually see that. Yes, I can actually agree with that.
I see it. It just didn't bother me as much because I mean
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention to it.
It's something I noticed, but like for example, like say Resistance. That's a game where I feel like they did too much. For Devil May Cry 5, they did gray because like Resistance is like the game's like brown fucking as hell. Whereas like Devil May Cry 5 was just like, yeah, it's enough gray for me to notice it. It's not enough gray for not enough gray for it to make me hate it.
And just to put it in perspective for myself, this is a guy who absolutely loves the absolute hell out of Fallout 3. But that is so much brown. Like, way more brown than any gray in this game. So much so that when you get to a certain mission in that, I'm just like, holy crap, what is this color? But it didn't even get close to that. So that's why most likely it didn't even bother me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for our non-spoilers, right?
I think that's all the stuff because, like we basically said, everything else that we don't have problems with is like basically 10 out of 10.
So give us our scores.
Yes.
All right, I'll go first. Which is my coveted 10 out of 10.
Woo! Woo! Oh my God! Yeah! Woo! Woo!
I think that's the first
Okay,
one
stop.
I've ever gotten on the podcast.
I think it has. I don't know if I've. Well, no. I've had one during the podcast, but I never mentioned it. Which was Mario Odyssey, but that was a while back. Actually, I think we just barely started the podcast, so we weren't even doing extras.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's for our first 10 out of 10s. Devil May Cry 5.
And also, as always, to put it in perspective, I rarely give anything above a 7. So,
And, like that's if you like it, and 5 plus is basically good.
yeah.
So yeah, and for me it was a 9 out of 10.
No! Yay! No!
Burn him!
Burn him to the ground! No.
It's like burn him with like the super low flame. I'm just kind of like, okay.
Low simmering flame. That way it takes 10 days to simmer.
Make sure you use the right spices.
We don't want to burn him really like that.
It's still a 9.
But so I guess we can get into our spoilers now.
Okay, so let me do like a spoiler countdown. Like, do a siren in the meantime. It's like, okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. Okay, so I mean, it's not like a massive spoiler, but yeah, Virgil's in the game,
Oh yeah, that's a total
and I
thing.
kind of love it.
It's totally a thing, and we love it every single bit. To the point, and the thing is, I knew it was coming, but the second he popped up on screen, I was like, "Oh my god!"
For me, it was just like, because you might have even, because if you would watch like any of the streams I did, you would have heard me just basically like piecing it together. It's like, that's Virgil, that's not Virgil, I think that's Virgil. But it's just kind of like, yeah, and then until like they flat out tell you, oh, it's Virgil, I was just kind of like, oh, awesome. And like I like, it's not like bad mixed feelings, but it's just kind of like I kind of love how he's basically got like a Super Saiyan 3 forehead.
Exactly. It's like, dude, this guy's leveled up.
Man, that fruit gave him like Saiyan powers.
It's so funny when you really look at him versus Dante, who has like this scruffy, look at old man. Look. He's just over here like, I'm a badass.
I love that part when he fucking pulls the throne out of the tree.
Mm.
I was like, oh man, that is so fucking boss.
And then they just pull up his name like you don't know it's Virgil, but at the same time, you just add the little alpha and the omega. Like, insults to history.
When I saw that, I was just kind of like, well, fuck.
Well, damn. Just in case you didn't know how fucked you were.
Like, seriously, this is a guy where it's just kind of like he's like he's one of the hardest motherfuckers to kill in this series.
Exactly. Anytime Virgil is there, you better beware.
Even in the first one, it's just kind of like, God damn it, what's it take to get you away from me, Nilo Angelo? Surprise, it's Virgil.
Motherfucking Neo Angelo. Tying me in shit.
Second fight uses fists.
Motherfucker. Acting all tough and shit. I beat your ass.
Again.
Oh gosh. But yeah, Virgil's in there. And they confirmed it. Virgil is Nero's father.
I mean, to be fair though, everyone was pretty much like, yeah, we're sure he's his father when he during 4.
But it was mainly just for the naysayers. It's like, well, he could have just been so distant related to him, or like, no,
yeah,
that's his dad.
Like somehow Sparta had like a third kid or something like that. It's just kind of like,
Yeah. Yeah. Next thing you know, Sparta is going to be a sex slave. Oh wait, that's DMC Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah, I think that was the thing.
I
don't remember. I haven't played that game in ages.
And it's for the best. So I did want to get to this. I'm pretty sure you figured it out after I said it. The one pet peeve I had about the whole lady thing and like where they could have put them is where you clearly see they're way ahead of Dante.
Yeah, the flashback.
Yeah, it's like that could have been the section there for that. Where you could have had that, quote, co-op mode. So somebody could be Trish, somebody could be Lady, and you just go beat shit.
Like, for me it's this. It is cool that they wanted to add a co-op mode, but I also don't fault them for it not being the greatest because the game's primarily single player.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm just kind of like, I'm not mad. I'm not even all that, like, disappointed. I'm just kind of like, I kind of wish they could have gotten it to work better.
Which, although I will say on that aspect, V kind of fucks that up a little bit. And the reason why, because I did Mission 13 a couple of times with different characters just to see how it was. Mm-hmm. And anytime V was on the screen, if you were Dante or Nero, your camera was fucked. Because
really?
Literally, anytime he summons like Nightmare or shadows near you, it fucks up the little screen a little bit. So it's a little hard to see. It's not like something that it couldn't be helped really because of their models.
Right.
But yeah, his character
like the way he plays, yeah.
It kind of messes up the flow of things. But overall, like, I do like that it was there. I kind of wish it was better. I kind of wish it was in Bloody Palace, but Like, here,
I mean, I've also heard from data miners that they might actually add like a co-op for Bloody Palace.
which would be awesome. Kind of wish it was here already, but it would be awesome.
It's like, hey man, it's like you can't rush perfection.
Exactly. I'm fine. We're fine. Everything's cool.
So it's like you heard our scores, goddammit.
But yeah, that was my only nitpick really thing there. Is like if you could have put them anywhere where you put it, I was like right there. Perfect.
Yeah, like when you said like there's a point in the story, I was just kind of like, oh, I know which one. But it's like, yeah, again, it's like hopefully they add a lot of these tiny things because it is one of those like because I love how like Capcom just keeps taking surveys now to try and see how they can improve a lot of their shit.
Seems to be a going thing now with companies. At least the companies that were big that are now been damaged are trying to come back.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Because I think around like the time of like RE7 is just kind of like, yeah, they were improving, but like you guys still need like some work to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm kind of glad that like they're actually like taking the initiative to actually try and do that.
Come on, Capcom fighters! It's all
I
when
don't
you're
know.
struggling.
Like that is like a weird branch right now. That is a way weird branch, and honestly, it's just kind of like even to me, it's just kind of like all the waiting in Street Fighter 5 was just kind of like what the hell's going on, like. Because I even said that in the other pod where it's just like Ono could come out in a wheelchair and people won't give a shit.
No, they probably won't.
And like
Not
at this point,
yeah, it's been too
But-
long.
yeah, but like that's a different that's a different podcast.
Yeah. Back to
but-
DMC5.
Pull my devil trigger.
And then they had the fucking remix at the end for the final boss. Like,
Oh my god, man! Like I love the original a bit more, but I'm just kind of like, this is still a fucking amazing ass remix.
Dude, did you hear the menu one where it's all jazzy and stuff?
No,
Oh my god, that thing is perfection.
because like, the only two versions that I know are pretty much like the normal Nero one and like the Virgil one.
There's
It, like, because I was gonna say, because like when you hear the Virgil one, I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is like the Devil May Cry 5 song. Like this is everything put together. Like regular Devil Trigger is just kind of like, yeah, that's definitely like Nero's theme, and like the game's amazing and all that stuff. I just kind of feel like when you get to like the Virgil version, then it's just kind of like all the stuff you see. It's the whole collective. You know what I mean? Like that's when you get that version.
Yeah, and I love it. But then it's like I only heard it because I was watching Max play it, and he was just in the menu kind of talking to the chat, and you just kind of hear it going. It's just like, wait a minute, this is Devil Trigger, but jazzified, and I love it.
You gotta love how they're capitalizing on how fucking popular that song ended up being.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That band is probably like living off like that, like MC Hammer's living off of "Can't Touch This."
Seriously, it's just like, oh, here's another 10 years worth of like I'm fucking popular because of this song.
No man, oh gosh, that theme is so godlike.
Oh man, like Devil Trigger in general is just kind of like I even fucking put that in my last video. So it's just kind of like, oh, clearly I fucking love it. It's the little V version, but it's just kind of like, doesn't make it any less epic.
Just like, and your point.
Exactly.
Oh man, what else? I love the little moments that they have. Like I was telling Moopsy the other day about the whole little moment of V and Lady talking to each other. And like, if you're like super DMC fan, you would notice just how much that means.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like it's like, oh my god, and just to tell you what, like literally, if you don't know by now, and you're getting spoilers, what are you doing here? But at the same
Come
time,
on, guys. Get it together.
as we know, V is the human side of Virgil, and when you think about DMC3, the last time Virgil saw Lady, she was beaten, bad, bruised, and everything. So when he sees her again in her healthier state and says, "I'm glad you're looking well," that's insane because that's the last time he's seen her since.
Yeah, it's one of those like amazing, like subtle as hell double meanings kind of shit. Because it's just like when V when Virgil when V says that, it's just kind of like, oh well, because she's free from like the Clyphon and all that stuff. It's just kind of like, oh, it means that. But then when you get to like the super nitty gritty of it, it's just like, oh yeah, but he also means that when he was Virgil, like last time he saw her was after her fight with Dante, and he's like, oh, I'm glad you're okay from that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those like, wow, that's fucking amazing and subtle.
It's like, god damn. Oh man, and then of course there's also the beginning theme where they have the fucking Capcom theme in there.
Oh, hitting into the arm! I was just like, when I found that out, I was just kind of like, god damn, this game's gonna break me in the best way.
Yes.
Callbacks, motherfucker. And also, speaking of callbacks, the callback to like the original Cerberus, dude.
Oh yeah, this is like a smaller one than you. Yeah, that was our kid, but we were the better ones.
Yeah, it's like we're the leader of the tribe, and like how fucking like Dante starts to fight the exact same way as he did with the first Cerberus.
Come on, little puppy, let me take you.
Let's go for a walk. Yeah, when I saw that, I was just kind of like, I can't handle this.
Yes. Oh gosh. Speaking of Dante, though. That fucking bike.
I'm pretty sure some of his fucking moves that he can use are like straight out from fucking 3.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I would not be surprised in the slightest. Plus, that bike is fucking broken.
That bike is awesome as hell. And it's kind of like, because it's broken, that's why I don't really use it in Bloody Palace.
You kind of have to feel that way. Like, man, I feel like I'm rolling through this really bad. Very pun intended. Oh my gosh.
It's like one of the best weapons. It's just kind of like, yeah, that's a Devil May Cry weapon.
And I just love how, like, he always, like, just in every real, like, DMC, like, he has a little cutscene of him just being a master at it just then and there. It's like,
yeah, seriously.
No training, just know how to do this.
It's like, he's almost kind of like, this is how you're gonna look when you fucking master this weapon. It's just like, oh my god, I look so fucking cool.
Speaking of mastering weapons, how about that sport for Nero? I have this.
Like, I wish that I knew how to get like the spork arm, the pasta maker, on fucking during that cutscene.
It's so awesome. It's so tough.
Like, that's also one thing I've been trying to do is like I've been really keeping attention to try and see if like fucking. Like they really did get like the motion actor to only use like I believe it's I think it's like his left hand, or was it the right hand that gets torn off?
I want to say it's the right hand.
Okay, well whichever is his regular hand. I've been watching all the cutscenes to really make sure that like all he does is with like the normal hand, the non-torn off one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like one of those things where, like, yeah, he like you watch the intro cutscene. I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's like he's shooting a lot of like the bullets and stuff like that. But I'm just kind of like really watching this. Like, does he only do all that stuff because you never know what kind of weapon you're gonna have? Mm-hmm. It's like it's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. This goes to Capcom balancing stuff and whatnot. I honestly thought, I'm not gonna lie, when I started playing Nero, that the first Devil Breaker you get was going to be useless by the end game and stuff and whatnot. And I think that was almost my favorite.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those where it's just kind of like it's super simple, and that actually makes it like super good.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost just one of those things where it's like because like with the sword, it's all like the quick fast strikes, and then when you need like a super big hit, that's when you go for the palm.
Mm-hmm.
The almighty hand.
Get back, bitch. It's like, and it's always something that always happens in a lot of games where like you get the first thing and then you never use it ever again. And
oh yeah, like that's a recurring problem.
but they balanced it so well so that it's like, no, you're gonna want to use us later down the line. Trust us.
And boy, do you.
Oh yes. Now, nitpick that I remembered. So about the bosses, I loved all the bosses. However, I did think they used Urizen a bit too much.
Yes, I can agree with that.
And that was my whole thing about that. Which, speaking of which, I don't know if I want to say this because I don't know if you know this yet.
I mean, we're in the spoiler section. I've already beat the game, so.
Okay, so basically, that prologue fight, you can win.
Yes, I've heard that, and I've also gotten like kind of close to it. It's possible for you to actually beat both forms of Urizen. It's just damn tough.
Which I actually ended up doing on the Son of Sparta difficulty. And I have to
You
say, well, the funny thing is, I almost did it my first try even playing the game because my dad already had the Devil Breakers. But the thing is, I didn't know his patterns yet. And then after that, the first couple of times, I figured out his patterns. So, dude, it is the most hilarious thing that happens afterwards.
Ah, damn. I kind of want to know, but I'm also just kind of like, but I want to do it myself.
I won't say it if you don't want me to, but
no, don't say it. Don't say it because like I've been replaying and I've been trying to like get all the missing like health orbs and stuff so that I can so that I can fight Urizen again.
Fair enough. I will say it. Just oh my gosh, perfect. and I'll actually point this point out too because it actually was another reason why I got my 10 out of 10 score. Because there's another game I've been recently playing. I can't believe I'm playing this, but mainly just because it's Tenchu-like, but it's Sekiro. And something you can do in Sekiro, spoilers for that, I guess, but it's not really a big spoiler anyway, is that...
Actually, you know what, Jess? I've thought about it. I do want to know the winning Urizen spoiler.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me tell this first before I go to the other point, because I'll lose that other point. Yeah. But, okay, so the point I was going to make is, like, when you beat the prologue boss in Sekiro, it barely changes anything. And that is kind of makes it, whatever. This is pointless. I should have just died. When you do it in here, it changes so much. So
really,
literally, what happens is it goes straight to credits. Literally, it ends there.
Oh my god!
And you know where it goes into the montage of when everything happens?
Uh-huh.
All that shit is gray and it speeds right through it.
Dude, that's amazing.
But that's not even the best part because, like, once you've done that, you automatically skip the level that you're on. So you go from Son of Sparta to whatever the next difficulty is. As soon as you do that, and you can keep doing that as many times as you want, as long as you beat Urizen. But
oh my god!
Literally, what happens? It goes into the van, and you see Dante and Virgil just sitting there.
Oh
like,
my
what
god!
the fuck just happened? And then even the better part is when you go to the mission select, it goes to Virgil and Nero, and Virgil just has the smuggest look at Nero. Like, you motherfucker.
No, I think I've seen that one actually. It's like they're both like sitting like near this little table, and just like Virgil keeps looking over at Nero like, you fucking suck.
Exactly. It's just like, you motherfucker. I ain't get you to do shit.
Like I will say, sorry to like take away from like the menu stuff, but I think that just happens regardless because I've had it on mine and I haven't beaten Urizen yet. But it's just kind of like the fact that it actually does that is like, oh, end credits. I'm just kind of like, you genius motherfuckers.
It just ends, and it goes super fast in the credits, too. This is like, you've unlocked the next difficulty now. I skipped the entire game.
That's amazing.
I guess at that point, they're just like, well, if you're good enough to do this, then...
Where the hell's the rest of the challenge?
Guess you can move on then, son.
It's like, you're only gonna get stronger from here.
Oh, but it was so glorious when I first saw it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because there was like a part where like there was this one time I was fighting him with Nero, and I did notice that I was like actually almost done like like clearing out like the first health bar.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just kind of like, oh shit, I wonder what happens. But then
Mm-hmm.
like I just kept dying.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was one point where I did actually get him to like the second form,
Mm-hmm.
but then like I had like so little health that I was basically dead afterwards.
So, fun thing is, technically you can beat him on the first break if you use your devil trigger wisely. But yeah, that's how I did it. First time I got the first break, I beat him then and there.
Nice.
Now, I think the next difficulty you have to do it twice at least because he has so much more health. But at the same time, it's just like once you learn the pattern and learn that literally Gerber is the best thing known to man.
Yeah, it's like I do that from the demo.
Like it's just easy mode there. But like oh my gosh, that it was just the most hilarious thing I think I saw in a while. Like
The one moment that another moment that I also really love is the one where like V and Trish are talking.
Mm.
The one part where like fucking I think it like when when Trish was gonna go to help Dante and like V's all like weakened and stuff.
Mm.
Like there's that one line where Trish goes like, "I'm not your mother," and I'm just kind of like, "Yeah, if you know the lore, this situation's like a whole lot more fucked up than you think it is."
This is weird. Don't say that.
It's like I'm not your mother. It's just like, yeah, he's not really your son either.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, because it's like, what is it? The demon meant to imitate your mother is talking to the human embodiment of the son that she's mimicking.
It's like this is getting too meta for me. I'm out. Let's keep it simple, you know.
I also love that when like Dante reveals like that Virgil is Nero's dad. I'm just kind of like, I like how they didn't like draw it out like super long. It was just kind of like, yeah, he's your dad, and like they have like they finish out the rest of the cutscene, but it's just kind of like there's like they could have easily like gone into like their worst instincts and have just gone like, yeah, you know, we have to make this moment like deep and special and all that stuff. I was like, everybody fucking knew this.
Yeah. Except for any of those naysayers, and then those naysayers had their mouths dropped for no reason.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I didn't know that. It's just kind of like, we should have.
Gas. Poor K. But that was a good moment too.
It really was.
The moment before, no, come back, heal your wounds. It's like shit.
And also fucking like and also the last time you fight Urizen, the stage is like fucking, it looks amazing.
Oh, dude, it's literally like an actual fight.
It's just it's one of those like super anime moments where it's just like, oh yeah, here's here's a vision of their childhood home.
Exactly. Oh man. Oh, and then we can't forget about heartstring moment. We really can't forget about it.
Which one?
The one between Dante versus Griffin and Shadow and
Oh yeah, that one. There was this one comment I read where I was just kind of like, I so agree with this. Where when the Griffin dies, like instead of calling him like little chicken, like someone said, man, I wish Dante would have called Griffin Featherface.
See, I saw that and I kind of agree. And you know what the funny thing is? Somebody in their Let's Play, who's not like the biggest DMC fan, even called that out. So it's just like, kind of missed it there. But oh well.
They did. I mean, like, in fairness, their inclusion already is like the biggest DMC one callback. But it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, you guys are like masters at details right now. So it's just kind of like, to have that line would have been amazing.
Just didn't stick to landing quite there yet, but you almost got there.
And it's one of those things where it's just kind of like a moment or two before he says right there, he also says like, it's like I'm back in Malay Island. It's just kind of like, come on.
Like it was kind of there.
Yeah, it was a freebie.
Oh well.
That's like one of those like uber nitpicks. And then what was and also like let me ask you this: what did you think of like Nero's devil form?
I thought it was sick. At first, I
I
didn't know it was him though, because it's like, what the? Who is that?
I like it, and like I'll tell you like my favorite thing about it, or like the thing about like my favorite thing about the thing in general
Mhm.
is that it's finally like he finally has like a devil, like a full-on demon form. I hated his fucking demon abilities in fucking in 4. That is just kind of
Mhm.
like, oh, you just get a shadow. I'm just kind of like, what kind of lame ass bullshit is this?
Well,
You're like, give me an actual form.
to be fair though, technically he didn't have full use of his powers then. He just had the arm.
And I will say, fair enough.
Mm.
It's still not my favorite thing that they did, but I will accept it.
Mm-hmm. No.
I will say though, this is kind of like it's nothing huge, but it's like I am a little bit disappointed that you can't just have like a devil like have it. Because let me explain it like this: I kind of wish you could have had his old demon arm as its own devil breaker, but also
Mm.
given the way that like they work in the mechanics,
Mm.
I'm okay with the way it also plays out.
Which is fair. No, I can get behind that. But I'm trying to think of anything else that like
Oh yeah,
really.
didn't you see you had like something about Nico?
Oh, that's what it was. And this is just me. I kind of hate that they kind of left the gag about halfway through the game, like of her always being everywhere, kind of thing. They just stuck with the lion statues.
Yeah, I think it was like once they got it like inside the tree, there was a point where she just stops driving in.
Yeah, it's just and they just kind of they let it go, and then it's just like okay, I get it, kinda, but then you bring her back later down the line in the tree, and it's just like,
I think it's probably because they would just I don't know, because I was gonna say it would have been harder to explain her getting out for like for during the escape,
mm,
because since like the trees like goes in reverse and it goes underground instead of above.
mm,
So like the moment like during the big switch, it would have been hard to explain how it's like she's like all the way underground in one moment and then instantly like above ground the next.
yeah, which I understand that. It was just one of my things. It's like I love this, and then it just kind of goes, and it
Yeah.
doesn't come back again. Well, except for like one random part. It's just like,
No, yeah, it's like I absolutely get you because I've got, like I can tell you my uber nitpick in my notes right now, uh, which is like I wish that for when you're fighting Virgil,
mm.
they kept his bullet blocking from Devil May Cry 3.
Isn't it when he spins the sword?
Yeah, that's the one. He doesn't have it in 5.
Yeah, he does.
No, if he does, it's like I have it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, he has the spinning in 5.
I guess there's gotta be like a way to activate it because there was a point where I was like I wanted to check it out because it's fucking Virgil,
Mm.
and I was shooting at it and he was blocking with the sheath.
Weird.
Like maybe there's like a way to activate it, or maybe it's like it only happened because I will say I was checking I think during the fight with Nero,
Mm.
so it could be like he does it when you're fighting with Dante.
Well, yeah, because I never shot him with Nero.
Yeah, because like I just wasn't like because it didn't hit me to do that with Dante, and like I was busy like focusing on trying to get like super cool combos that I didn't really didn't remember about the bullet thing.
Yeah.
So it could be that I don't know, but even then it's just kind of like that's my uber nitpick for that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those is kind of like wow, that's fucking like a stupid like nitpick. It's just like hey man, you weren't there, you're not a fan.
It's like, yes, I am. Yes, that was a bad.
And I mean, like another thing we gotta fucking praise is the fucking Dante dance. It's just it's also one of those things where it's just kind of like, of course Dante would know how to fucking moonwalk. He's a badass.
I just love that he did it with a cowboy hat. It's like, okay, this is where we're at.
Yeah,
I
all
love
that
it.
Michael Jackson dancing with fucking a cowboy hat is kind of like this is the best thing I've seen.
I didn't know I need this until I saw it.
It's a gift from the gods.
Damn, how do they know?
How did they know that I want it? It's like that fucking Bill Cipher Dream World thing.
Exactly.
It's like I didn't even know I wanted it.
Damn you. But
All right. I think we can start getting into like the ending
yeah.
because I want to use this like my last note
Mm.
because it's like this. It's my last note is this. It's yes, I did give it a 10 out of 10, but it wasn't because my 10 out of 10 requirement wasn't met.
Mm.
And as a collective, I think it's like all the points I mentioned earlier. It's one of those things where like it starts stacking up because of a lot of little points, not because of like one big thing to knock away the whole point.
Mm.
But because like one of the things is like I know that it's like the Devil May Cry story isn't always like the most super like complex and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like part of it that does kind of like help take away like a fraction of a point is because Itsuno was like all going around touting, or like it was either Itsuno or like the director or whoever. But they were like saying that it's just kind of like, we're gonna make sure like for Devil May Cry 5 that you cry. I did not feel weepy at any point.
I was looking for that, and I couldn't find it. Could you link me that?
I'll try to find it to you in a bit, because I remember I saw it. But in the meantime,
no, I wasn't super looking for it, but I was kind of like typing. I kind of want to see what he was talking about there, but I couldn't find it.
MC5.
Because I cried tears of joy.
Okay, well, here's one from Destructoid. Let me see. Let me see if it has the phrase.
There was one thing.
Okay, here we go.
I was gonna kill time. Go ahead.
Yeah, because okay, so I'll post this on the DM.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no. Let me post it on the chat.
Nice.
But I will post the quote or like the claim that I'm talking about on the chat too.
Mm.
For the people that like obviously aren't gonna want to read the whole thing.
Reading.
Yeah. So it's there in the chat where and for the YouTube people it says the line that it says it right there is it says Itsuno even goes so far as to say that people will cry.
Devil May Cry.
So see, it's just like if we state something, you will be called out on it on this show.
Yeah.
We're not Fox News. Anyway, so because like Itsuno did basically like proclaim that he was gonna up the ante, it did kind of make me go like, okay, I'm like not impressed that I played through the whole story and I did not get I definitely got plenty of like the excitement emotional reaction, but nothing that made me want to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where it's just kind of like you guys are like throwing down the gauntlet. And I'm not getting like the response that you guys are going for.
Mm-hmm.
Now again, even if even with that, like this complaint that I'm having right now, this is still a fraction of a point. I cared so little.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the reason why it's like my rating was a 9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also and now to sort of like segue into the ending, because I guess like so that I don't keep hogging the chat. Like, let me ask you this, Jess. What did you think about the ending?
I loved it. Like everything about it, up into that final jackpot.
Because you have to have it.
Yep. I mean, honestly, after 5 games, the way it went made sense. They're getting old.
Yeah, they are. But I'm just glad like Nero's got a better personality now.
Yeah. Although I found his personality fine in 4. We differ on that. But
it wasn't horrible, but I mean, it's just like I definitely didn't like him as much as I like him in 5.
And then after you learn like stuff that it was in the book about like how Kyrie and him are living with like a child and they don't have a lot of money. So the reason he looks like he's from Hot Topic is because those are tattered clothes that he can only wear.
In 4 or 5?
5.
Okay.
And like everything leads up to him being like a really cool person and stuff. And,
Wait till all the Nero best dad memes are gonna start fucking popping up.
Damn, Nero, you one great dad. But,
Piccolo.
But as always, you never had this much trouble.
I don't know, because there's a part of me that is just kind of like, now that you mentioned like the whole like Nero's a dad kind of thing, yeah, I wonder how many people are gonna start fucking like changing history and start saying that Virgil was actually like was a good dad. And I'm just gonna be like, fuck no.
He wasn't even there. How could he be a good dad?
I would feel like, dude, Goku was a better dad than Virgil.
I can agree with this. Virgil
like,
was non-existent.
Seriously, and the first time he shows up, it's like, here, let me have your arm. What the fuck?
Hey, I'm your dad. Okay, I'll be taking this. Yoink.
Okay, but so that's what your thoughts on like the ending were for the ending. For me, it's I did really like it. I like how fucking Virgil's still alive at the end in this one. As opposed to all the other ones where it's just kind of like, oh well, there's a chance he's dead in the other ones.
Okay, now he's dead. Okay, now he's dead.
Spoilers, he's alive.
Damn it.
The only thing that I didn't really like about the ending for this one is that it kind of ends on the same cliffhanger as 2.
Oh, like they're in the demon world now?
That they're stuck in the demon world again.
Let's just forget 2 existed.
I mean, you can easily do that. Until they bring in Lucia, you can basically say that, like, what's Devil May Cry 2? I've never heard of this.
Well, Lucia was also in the comic book stuff, so we just bring her from there. Let's forget 2 existed.
Well, like, I mean, I get you, because, I mean, like, I was the one that told you the other night that I was just like, oh, by the way, there's a comic here. But, like I'm saying, though, it's just kind of like... it's still something that like just never got explained in 2, and like so that's something I can't say I care for. That is like it ends on the same cliffhanger that, let's face it.
Wait, before
with
you
the
go
retcon,
further with that,
okay.
What didn't he explain?
How like Dante escaped the
okay,
the
that did get explained in the book.
Well. How
I'm not saying that one because spoilers. And I know people will hardcore go on that one.
What's up? You cut off.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm not gonna say that one because spoilers and people are hardcore on that book.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the book any good?
It's pretty good. I kind of hate that so much stuff is revealed inside of it, but at the same time, it's just like, what can you do? Because they weren't really gonna give him a game until now.
I guess. Was it is it a written book or is it a manga?
Written book-ish manga, kind of hybrid.
Oh, it's one of those like it's mostly a book, but you'll see like some like pages with like pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. I might be able to find like a copy in Barnes and Noble or something. Hopefully.
While we're doing this, because I'll let you keep your point, I'm gonna look for it.
All right. But yeah, so it's like at least at this moment in time when I'm talking about this, like they end on the same cliffhanger, and so they like don't really like explain how they're gonna get out. We most likely are gonna find out that there is a way for him to escape and all that stuff. Like, let's face it, like nobody's gonna say, oh, they're fucking like just not they're not gonna escape. But that's another thing too, where it's just kind of like those are the 2 aspects of the story where I can say I did not like. Although I do like also the ending, how fucking while Virgil and Dante are beating up demons, Virgil goes like, "Don't say it."
Jackpot.
When that moment happened, I was just kind of like, okay, ignoring the fact that this is the same ending as 2, I still love this moment.
Speaking of which, there's a moment even before that had me dying. Like, absolutely just knocked out. Like, I had to stop for a second.
Which one?
It's the first time you actually go into Devil Trigger with Nero. It's just like they're talking. It's just like, you don't understand whatever. It's like, Nero, fuck you, pal!
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
It's funny how it's just kind of like this is another game that this is a game where like the best thing about this too is because when we say love letter to the franchise, it even brings in stuff from the DMC that nobody liked.
That was so perfect.
It is just like amazing how it's just kind of like, oh, in the last one, like in the last Devil May Cry, it was just like, oh, fucking people hate it. It's like, oh, Dante doesn't say fuck you. Nero says fuck you to Virgil, and everyone's just like fucking like, yeah.
It was so perfectly timed. like this is literally what you should be saying to Virgil right now after all these years. Fuck you! He just puts his middle finger and
And you think like that's when he transforms again or something.
These explosions. What the fuck?
Oh, so it's from that book.
Yes, that book.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because that's the one I linked. But anyway,
yeah, you're gonna want that book. They literally talk about a lot about stuff beforehand.
Okay. So yeah, there's probably some stuff I should. I guess it's a must read almost.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, and also this is also a point from like the first stream I had for like Devil May Cry 5, where it's just kind of like I do like Black Morrison better.
It's such a simple change, and yet you just kind of love the guy just because of that.
Well, because like this, I don't love him just because he's black. It's because like when I said before that it's just like if they also changed his skin color, then I wonder if they also changed his attitude, and they really did. They made like a lot of personality changes compared to like the original Morrison, where I'm just kind of like, yeah, I like this Morrison better than the first one. The other one's like super like plain. But this guy's fucking like he's fun.
Cause them crazy bitches. I mean, lovely ladies.
Cause rent ain't cheap.
This coming out your cut.
Like I love the voice. I love the fucking like smarmy ass attitude. And like fucking yeah, he's fucking great. He's definitely a step up from the original.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, like, I wonder what like the hell Patty's gonna be like, because I wonder if they're gonna bring her in the future.
That is a good question, especially after that phone call.
Yeah, because like, there's a part of me that is just kind of like, okay, so I'm guessing that she still has like a crush on Dante or something. And it's like I don't necessarily count the phone call as how her personality is, because it kind of gives her like a party girl personality.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of like because it was in the middle of a birthday party. I imagine she was basically just getting blasted.
That's it. She is 18 now, so
yeah. So it was just kind of like I just kind of like chalk it up to like, well, she's fucking drinking because it's her 18th birthday party.
Get me the fuck out of this party. Consider your reservation canceled.
I wanted to say that line, but I didn't remember the exact words.
Oh man, that was actually very funny. This is like, yeah, nope. Yoink! Phone's cut off.
I'll take this job, just make sure I don't go to this fucking thing.
Sorry, his phone line's cut.
Oh yeah, he just yanks out the fucking line.
Nope.
Because it was almost like the moment the lights turned on, that's when she instantly calls him.
It's like, wow, that timing. Whoops.
It's like, she's kind of desperate. It's just kind of like, I love how they incorporated that stuff. I love how like they took some of like the best parts of like they salvaged some parts from like Devil May Cry 2 and DMC and all that stuff. It's just kind of like, this game is just like, if you're a Devil May Cry fan, you definitely have to fucking buy this game.
If you don't, you can't call yourself a Devil May Cry fan to me. You just can't.
Seriously, man. Like the fucking mechanics of the fighting's like super tight. The fucking like references are insane. The action's amazing. The story's fucking great.
Mm-hmm. It's
like,
everything.
I would just basically say that it's just like, if you don't like Devil May Cry, if you're a Devil May Cry fan, but you don't like 5, you're like some kind of Devil May Cry hipster.
You most likely like DMC, Devil May Cry. And to
Seriously.
that I say, A good old fuck you.
Fuck you, Dad.
Fuck you.
I always want to play those levels again.
I kind of
like
want
the
that as
last
my
two.
notification. Is anybody
kinda what?
subs? I kind of want it as my notification thing. Is anybody subs? Fuck you!
You should do that in next month or something.
I crack him so hard. It's how you say, fuck you! Oh,
Oh
shit.
man. And because I've also heard this is like another one of those from data miners kind of thing that is like it might be possible that we're gonna get playable Virgil down the line.
I have also heard this as well. Although people have
And
already modded him into the game.
oh yeah, because I mean let's face it, he's already basically in the game.
Yeah.
The only thing is that you need to have the controls for him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's if he is released, it's just I cannot wait to play this version.
It look good. That shit look good.
It's in the next patch, it's oh, next you get to play as Lady and Trish, and the last character, Morrison. No Virgil. I'd be like, what?
I'm both intrigued, and yet I just want to say, fuck you!
You gotta have a meme button so that you can just keep pressing it and the sound will play.
So what that? That's so awesome! It seems so out of left field. This is okay, this is our demo trigger. We're just gonna turn it to nope. Gotta be extra as fuck.
And yeah, freaking I'm finally glad that Neo's got a full-on devil trigger.
It's been a
He's
long
got a
time
big
coming.
voice. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Although it does make me wonder if they do Saiyan rules with this double trigger thing.
How so?
You know, like with each generation thing, it kind of gets, quote, stronger. Like half-breeds and whatnot.
I thought it was just the half-breeds, and then it just sort of started leaving after a certain point.
Yeah. Which is a whole other thing in itself. It's
Yeah.
how does this work?
Yeah, because you never know. Because it will be that. I will say this. We are getting older Dante and Virgil here. They're older, but obviously they're still able to fight. And I imagine they've got another 1 or 2 good games in them where they can still lead.
Mm.
But it's just kind of there will be a point where you're just gonna have to replace the other characters. And it definitely helps that for Devil May Cry 5, they've got a plethora of characters, so that way they can start to while they're phasing some out, they're phasing some in, because we know because of this game they can still write really good characters.
Mm-hmm.
V wasn't even isn't even a permanent character, and I still thought he was super good.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I would have to say for the future installments is I hope that they give Dante the best fucking possible out ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just because regardless of what happens in the future, it's just kind of he is the dude that started it all. So if you give him the shaft in terms of an exit, oh my god, people would be so mad.
I don't know. I think it'd be split. You definitely have the people who would be mad, for sure. But I think at the same time, it's been 5 games. Technically 6. But, yeah. I don't know. I think there's the other side. It's we're moving on to a new thing. We get it.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that it's if you don't give him a proper exit for a guy that is pretty famous and synonymous for the franchise, then that's what I think people would get mad for.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we'll see what the future holds. All we know is that it's just kind of we have the rumors of playable Virgil and multiplayer Bloody Palace, which would be fucking beast. In the meantime, we just have to wait for those.
Indeed.
But yeah, all those 9s and 10s this game's getting, it totally fucking deserves them.
Absolutely. 100%. Clap and a half.
It's clap and a half, 110%, whatever the hell memes the Game Grumps do.
Yes, I am ready for DMC 5.
I am friend Dante.
I am friend Nero. This is how you speak human.
Running a literature club.
I think that's it then.
I think so. We obviously really love the game because we've been talking about this for about an hour and a half.
Yeah. Now that's how you extras, bitch.
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
I touched down this little plastic semi truck.
I guess you want to plug anything?
I will plug my YouTube channel because I am like tomorrow I'm just gonna fucking go overtime on like my video editing and all that stuff. I finished that Armika section that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get like a few more scenelets to finish the Ryu section, and then I just have to work on the Dead or Alive section.
Mm-hmm.
I should have the video up by this Sunday, and then for my Instagram and Twitter plugs for like the next 2 to 3 weeks, because that's kind of like the time limit I put on myself for like new projects.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep the dumb idea of the JoJo Dragon Ball crossovers going by drawing Dio Vegeta.
Nice. And also weird, again.
Yeah, the last one I drew is also a weird crossover because it was Goku versus Dante.
Still weird.
I'm not saying it's not weird. I'm just saying it's like, hey, if I'm not gonna draw this, who?
Death Battle needs to get on that shit.
Surprise
Special
Baker.
guest, Eddie.
I was here for a while. Don't mind me.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Unless you have anything you want to add to this extras.
Absolutely not. Other than my friends are awesome.
Yay!
Hooray!
I feel loved.
I'm neutral.
Of course you would be.
You hateful fuck. What the fuck? But no, yeah, it's like, yeah, so it's gonna be keep an eye out for my YouTube, keep an eye out for my Twitch, keep an eye out for my Twitter and Instagram, and I think that's about it.
Word. Well, since you're here, Eddie, did you want to plug anything?
No, not here. Not here. Not this time. No.
Alrighty. Well, you can find me at All Things Cosmo Jazz. And I'm going to be working on my next Let's Play, which is Tales from the Borderlands, since people have been suggesting me to play it before Borderlands 3 comes out. So that should be fun. I don't really like Telltale's games except for Wolf Among Us, and that ain't coming back. So,
The company's dead.
the company's very dead. But, it should be interesting, I guess. I think that's about it. Until next podcast, happy April.
Happy April.